I'm a 52-year-old mother of four who is now currently on a long-term disability. How I landed in this disability experience has a cause. In my experience, there is a long genetic history of abuse. And we have a lot of nonprofits, a lot of helpful agencies out there that I personally needed and required to help break this cycle of abuse. But what I found was nobody was offering me any information as to how to break this cycle. And that led to me really gaining a good understanding of what nonprofits are all about. It gave me a good understanding of our education system, our justice system, political, economic, medical, you name the system. I've had to have experiences trying to fit within those systems and trying to make it work. And had a little bit of a breakdown when I could see that what our human reality right now is all about is basically putting a round peg in a square hole. You can't be successful at this game, which is why we're having a global collapse. Now, I could always see a different picture than most other people could. I'm sort of like the black sheep of the family. I'm also very, very motivated, having four kids, to finally learn what exactly would it take to break this cycle of abuse. There are patterns within patterns within patterns. Not only do we have a pattern of abuse within our families, we also see a pattern of abuse within our communities and society, our cultures. We see the same abusive pattern within our global experience, the wealthy and the poor. And there has to be a time where those on the bottom, the poor, need to come to some kind of peace table with those that are wealthy. And true problem solving involves everybody winning. Nash equilibrium was an introduction of a good deal, is when two people have a problem and both parties walk away feeling like they are the winners. Imagine if every problem was solved where everybody was the winner. Everybody walked away getting every single thing that they wanted. That's true problem solving. Today, we don't see that. If you have a problem and go into any court system, there will be a loser and a winner, which is not providing any justice at all because there is no true problem solving there. Um, so what this project that I would like to unfold, I've done an awful lot of research trying to prove scientifically how I perceive my world, and I found the science. The science is called holodynamics and has been curing cancer, AIDS, mental illness, and addictions for well over 20 years. And it's all based on the concept of cure the cause and you cure the disease. It explains the solutions within our justice system, economic, education, political. It takes a new mindset to solve the problems of today. You cannot change the problems using the same mindset that created them. So this is what I'd like to fund is new information that helps all of humanity find out how do we solve all problems while dealing with global problems. How is it possible? This is a project that would get people back working. One thing that I've learned is intentions. Intentions can kill, and we don't really see that. You may have good intentions to try and feed the hungry, but and start food banks. But me being the needer, the consumer of a food bank, I'm frustrated with why isn't anybody putting the same level of time and money curing the causes of why I can't earn my own food and keep my own food. Since I'm on a disability because I've worked day and night to the point where I've injured myself, um, I should have been able to keep, the money myself for my own food since I've done all of the work. So something caused my food to be stolen away from me, causing me to need a food bank. So those that work within a food bank have all of these really good intentions, but they're actually putting a band-aid on the causes of why people are hungry in the first place. Good intentions directed outwards is very hard on humanity, but good intentions done inward can actually cure the whole friggin' planet, which is why I would like to produce a documentary that educates us on some of the new sciences of how this works, as well a bottled water concept that is a new form of nonprofit where any consumer drinking this water is actually the owner of the organization. Now, water is found in all of us. We're all mostly water. Water is in the air, water's in the earth, water's everywhere. And water happens to contain information. So right now, the information internally is to experience a lack of intentions that we chase out in our external world trying to fill. If you're lacking love, you're going to chase for that car or that big house or some form of stuff to make you experience love for your life. But you don't actually have love for self. You need external love. So, this is a way of um, programming your eternal mind to feel what it feels like to have love and happiness in your life, basically by using this drinking water. um, it's a constant interruption of your thought patterns, and as you drink it you actually have to feel what it feels like to feel loved. And if the brain develops that chemical intentionally inside you, eventually the brain starts to get addicted to those peptides and proteins, those drugs that create the experiences that you want to have. And then when you feel love and happiness from within, without doing anything, you externalize that love out in your outer world. And then, like karma, it comes back at you. So, what I found is I had to do some experimenting on these events I experienced where just magical things happened. How did it happen? How did I make a magical thing happen? Well, I was feeling, without a doubt, 6 specific intentions. And when I experienced hell in my life, I could see that I had 0 of those intentions inside me. So when I was overcoming my problems, I started drinking out of these bottled intentions, and I constantly focused on feeling the intentions within inside me. And it has cured my arms. I've had fibromyalgia that is basically fight flight. Yeah, I'm in fear. So this process of this bottled intentions helps you to recognize your own unknown problem, which is basically your complaints and excuses. If you make a complaint or an excuse, then you can use this tool, holodynamics, that will tell you what the cure is to that problem. So while drinking this water focused on the positive intentions, at the same time, I've been transforming every unknown problem that I've had. While thinking the external world was being abusive towards me, I could now see that I was attracting it. So making that transformation from within me is um, definitely played an aspect in how I've healed. I've had to calm down because I live in this level of poverty. The tools that could actually help me calm down faster weren't available to me. So I had to use creative ways to learn how to calm down, which some days was taking 6 baths a day, or going for some really long walks, or staring at a flower until I could see the beauty in it. When I was, trying to fit within that system, fighting to survive in that fight flight, try to make the impossible work, the level of rage and anger and fight flight. My daughter had pointed out a flower that I couldn't even see was there. She literally had to touch the flower for me to see that it was there. So that is sometimes really, really good therapy, is just to look at a flower until you can see the beauty in it. And then when you see the beauty in the flower, then it's how can you see the flower within you and feel and give yourself that level of love. The process through that is through this holodynamic tracking and the focusing on constantly feeling the intentions internally that actually create and attract the positive outcomes that you have. Now I'm in process, I'm in development, and it's not something that I can see I want to sell and manipulate the world to do. This is something that I feel the world needs to want it. You actually have to want to transform your problems. You have to see that you are your problem. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It is kind of, I'm learning how to try and point out that you are the cause of your own problem and not be offensive. For some reason, we are very offended when it's pointed out to us that you're getting burnt because you're touching the stove. Stop touching the stove. All of humanity wants to learn by our mistakes and touch that hot stove. So I do believe humanity will learn through experience at the cost of a lot are going to die through our mistakes. Or we can make a massive shift if we start waking up to, why don't we cure some of the problems, some of the causes? If you want to learn how to live your passion, the biggest thing that you can do is face your own personal evils. What are you passionate about? Most of us are passionately hating something. Write down your passionate hate list. In order for you to hate something means you're lacking a love of something. For you to recognize a problem means you know what the solution is. You cannot see a problem unless you know the solution. But we're just not really awake to that yet. We haven't hit that subconscious knowing. That's the answer is within us. Every problem is born with its solution. But the problem is visible while the solution is invisible. But just like the air, you cannot see air, but it still exists. All solutions, all global solutions are available. They're just invisible to us because our conscious mind can't see it. But through a well-produced documentary and a bottled water concept, we can transform the entire planet. And if it's done properly as a nonprofit, profits from this idea can fund new ideas. We have free energy. We have systems that can transform all toxic waste into pure clean energy that needs funding. We need some really good ideas that do exist on this planet, but they need funding. So water is a way of funding it. We all need water. And if instead of a corporate structure owned our natural resources, but humanity actually owned it, it could be our new economic base where we're constantly generating new funds. We don't have to borrow. We just have to watch our water, use it wisely, make sure it's always there. Water is always there. It never goes away. And as long as we are creating a profit by every time we drink and we ensure that there's always water there for us to drink, that means our money supply is just as endless as our water supply. All we have to do is see the solutions because they're right there. They just need some funding from people that can see clearly. Are you interested in seeing some global solutions unfold? I'd love to hear from you. Peace out.